and today we're going to be rating every single Bantamweight champion. Undisputed, no interims, even though every single interim UFC Bantamweight champion went on to become a champion. But we'll start off with Dominick Cruz. Now, taking a look at Dominick Cruz's title defense resume, you see his first defense was against Uriah Faber, who we will see a lot in this list. Second defense was against Demetrius Johnson. Now, Uriah Faber is alright, pretty good fighter back in the day. Rose the ranks, got multiple title shots, but never became undisputed. He was a WEC champ at featherweight, but at WEC, but Demetrius Johnson's win aged like fine wine, getting the dub in second defense. He would go on to get injured. In his injury, Renan Brado would win the interim belt. And he would go on, and now you gotta think, Dominick Cruz went on, after being injured for a while, to come back and win the belt again. Mind you, he would later go on to get brutally TKO'd by Cody Gambit. But Dominick Cruz's legacy was there. He went on to two-time champ. So I'm personally going to put him at top tier. That's a top tier champion. When bouncing back from horrible injuries in his knee and shoulder to come back to win the undisputed title twice after the division moves on, because you know this division moves. And it's a busy division. Everything keeps moving in it. But taking a look at our next undisputed champion, which we just mentioned him, Renan Brado won the belt. Won the interim belt against Uriah Faber, who we told you would come up a lot here, and was promoted to undisputed champion after, like I mentioned, Dominick Cruz had a bunch of injuries, his knees and shoulders. So his first defense was against Uriah Faber. And that was it. He had one defense against Uriah Faber, who's been spammed infinite title shots. Yeah, and it was a rematch too, because as you see, faced him. Now, he did have two interim title defenses, which isn't bad. That's not bad. But it's Eddie Wineland, not a bad defense, and McDonald, a little more of an unknown guy. So, taking a look at that, I gotta say, and that's not even counting, that's interim. We're talking about his actual title reign, 138 days. Not a very long time. And as you guys see, he lost to Uriah Faber. He had one defense against Uriah Faber, who was beginning to not age very well after getting repeated title shots. So, and he was taken out by TJ Dillashaw. So, I gotta put him at mid-tier. He wasn't a bad champion. Definitely not a bad champion. But, I don't know if he could be considered average. Maybe. You could argue average. He's not top tier. He had one title defense. The same amount as, but I'm personally going to put him in mid-tier. Now, TJ Dillashaw, absolute warrior, two-time defending champion, losing the belt to Dominick Cruz, then Dominick Cruz bouncing back, Dominick Cruz losing to Cody, and then TJ bouncing back after getting, after certain things happened. And after that, he kind of went downhill. He lost a bunch of fights. He tried to go down to flyweight to win it and failed. But, I don't know how to explain it. TJ's a warrior, man. Even though he popped, I don't believe he was on it for every single fight before that. Like, people are like, oh, he was on drugs once, so he had to be on drugs every single fight. I strongly disagree with that take. Personally, I think he was a really good champion. He pulled off a huge upset against Renan, and he had two title defenses, came back, had another title defense, beat Cody Gambit in the rematch, who beat Dominick Cruz, by the way. So you got to look at that. That's a good win. Obviously, he was stripped of his title, so we can't really put him in the GOAT category, even though beforehand he could have been considered one of the GOATs. But definitely an average champion. I would say top tier, but he popped for drugs and never was the same. And his losing streak after champion was really bad. But his title reign's not bad. He had a defense against Joe Sato and a rematch against Varane. And he won them both. So it's really not bad. But I put him about average because he had about three title defenses, more than Brow, better title reign. He would be top tier if he hadn't popped for drugs. And during his title reign, which caused him to lose the belt. And I think personally he would have been able to defend the belt against Cody. Obviously, we see TJ get stripped. He could have probably beaten Cejudo if at Bantamweight. You know, they went up and lost. I forgot he faced Michael Morales for vacant belt. Yeah. Next up on the list, Cody Gauntlet. Now, you guys can't hate me here. I am a Cody fan too. I really am a Cody fan. But he won the belt once. 0 title defenses. Faced TJ Dillashaw. After TJ lost to Dominic Cruz. And TJ had to win back up, by the way. He had to fight a lot to get back to where he was. And he knocked out Dominic Cruz, who beat TJ and then lost to TJ. And he had 0 title defenses. And he was never the same after that. He went just straight downhill. I don't hate him. Like, you know, obviously I don't hate him. I'm a big fan of him, but he's not a mid-tier champion. 0 title defenses. One of the shortest title reigns, actually, in this. Besides Reign and Broil, of course. But, like, looking at that, it's not... He's not really crazy. He pulled off a big upset, but that doesn't mean you're the GOAT. Pulling off an upset doesn't define GOAT. And what he did after he was champion, before he was champion, was great. During his title reign, okay, 1 fight, okay, yeah, and then after it was just straight downhill. It's like his peak was 1 fight and it was over. Now after him, of course, we had TJ Dillashaw the second time, and then we had Henry Triple C Cejudo. Now he's going in mid tier. Here's why. He won the belt and had 1 title defense against Dominic Cruz, which clearly puts him in average. He had a title defense. He became a 2-division champ, but that's it. He had 1 title defense, which is why he's at mid tier. 1 title defense against Dominic Cruz, and then he retired. When he came back, if he would have kept fighting, I could have argued he would have been top tier GOAT. But like, looking at it, come on, man. He defended his belt once and then spent his prime years retired. Then he came back to the sport and got worked by like almost everyone on this roster. And the next up, you already know, Peter Yan. Now, Peter Yan. Had a lot. He defeated Jose Aldo for the belt. Big win. As you see, what happened? Straight downhill. So you got Jose Aldo winning the belt. First title defense. He loses to Aljamain Sterling via disqualification. And that was it. Almost like a Cody Gauntlet. But then, obviously, Aljo, who I'm putting in top tier, by the way, goes on 3-fight win streak. Obviously loses to Sean O'Malley. Beats some of the GOATs of the sport, by the way. Beats Henry Cejudo. Beats TJ Dillashaw. And beats Peter Yan. Now, I'm going to put Peter Yan at top tier because of what he does in his second title reign when he comes back. Losing to Illegal Me is hard. Going on a 3-fight losing streak, horrible for your resume. But then coming back in his next 4 fights and winning them all, and then beating the GOAT of the sport to come back is a top tier move. Top tier champion. Even though, yeah, he won by the skin of his teeth and all 3 fights were split and decision fights, he still won. He still beat some of the best guys. So, looking at that, of course, after Aljamain Sterling, you got Sean O'Malley. And I'm going to be honest, Sean O'Malley is going in low tier. He had 1 title defense. That title defense was obviously against Marlon Vera at 299. Marlon Vera was ranked like 5th at the time. And they chose to do that because Sean O'Malley broke his ankle when he fought Marlon. The Cheeto Show now. He came back to, obviously he won that fight, which is clear as day he won that fight. But like, there were numerous guys in the division that he could have fought that would have been better. And after that, as we've seen, he fought the GOAT of the sport, Merab. and we'll talk about that in a minute. Fought to go to the sport, lost twice. Second time, he had more chance to get better grappling, and he got submitted. He didn't even go to decision. He just got submitted. And then went on to... What did he do? Went on to beat Song Yadong. And that's it. And he's about to fight on the White House card, and I do hope he wins, because it would be cool to see him back in the title picture. But he's a low tier. If he wins the belt, I could put him up in mid tier. Being a 2-timer is hard to do. But like, he's literally the same thing as Cody Gambit. He had one title defense, which I'm gonna put him at mid tier just so the Sean O'Malley fans don't murder me. He wasn't that crazy of a champion. Obviously, his hype was insane, but so was Cody Gambit when he won the belt. So was TJ Dillashaw when he re-won the belt. So was Dominic Cruz when he came back from injury. Hype's big. Doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, it's what lies on these pages. So now, here's why I have Merab at the GOAT. Let's look at Merab's resume. 1, while his boy Aljamain Sterling was champ, he was clearing division, murking out people. Think about this. He was beating all sorts of guys. Then when he won the belt, he's beat some of the greatest names in this division. He took out Umar Nurmagomedov, who will be, unfortunately, a future champion. If how things go, if it's going to go, Peter Yan is either going to vacate because of his injury, or he's going to come back, and he's either going to fight Merab, or he's going to fight Sean O'Malley and Amin Zvi, or he's going to fight Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar will eventually become a champion. If Merab's champion, Umar won't become champion. But if Merab moves up division or retires after re-winning the belt, Umar will probably be champion. He beat Sean O'Malley, and he probably pretty convincingly could beat Peter Yan. I would be rooting for Peter Yan because I don't want Umar to win, but Umar would eventually become champion. You gotta look at it like that. Merab beat Umar. Then he beat Sean O'Malley in the rematch, submitting Sean O'Malley, by the way. And then beat Corey Sandhagen, another rising guy who fought for an interim belt at one point. As you guys see up here, a rising contender, a good fighter. Unfortunately, the only thing that's problematic for Merab's career right now is losing to Peter Yan. However, he beat Peter Yan the first fight and beat Henry Cejudo in his title run. He's beat lots of notable names going up to the belt. Once he captured the belt, he had a very active. Obviously, he's tied for the most title defenses in this division. Tied with Dominic Cruz and what's his name? Aljamain Sterling. If he wins the rematch against Peter Yan, which I know he will be the undisputed GOAT of all time, and it'll be pretty clear. He beats Peter Yan, then he's gonna go on another couple run. He's probably gonna fight. His first defense is probably gonna be against the winner of Sean O'Malley, Iman Zabibi, or Umar, and he beats Umar again. So, dude, the legacy's there, from nothing to something, dude. And that's my Bantamweight champion tier list. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.